Hey guys, how we doing today? This is Wally with LearningNet.com, and in today's WPX hosting review, we're going to be focusing on really three main areas of WPX hosting. We're going to be talking about the pricing, what does it cost to get started with WPX hosting. I'm going to be going over also the customer service as well as uptime. These three areas are extremely important in my opinion as a blogger when it comes to really selecting an ideal web hosting provider to create websites online. If you guys are new here to this channel for LearningNet.com, I want you to hit the subscribe button right below along with the bell, and that way any future videos, guys, that I put up, you'll be sure to receive them. So if you guys don't know too much about me, I've been online for several years, and I've been able to create websites online using several different web hosting providers. And one thing that I've really learned about, web hosting is this, guys, is that one, you need a web hosting company that has extremely fast servers, page loads, great customer service that's 24/7. In the event you have any issues, you can always either pick up the phone or hit somebody up in the chat, service, 24/7 customer service. And also to have a web hosting company that's affordable. Price, customer service, uptime, these areas are extremely important to consider when getting started with a web hosting company. And so today we're going to be looking at WPX hosting, and we're going to be examining them a little bit closer to help you guys appreciate how they fare in each one of these areas. Now, WPX hosting specializes primarily in managed WordPress hosting. What that means in short is that, there are really two types of hosting that people really go after. One is shared web hosting and managed WordPress hosting. I'm not going to talk about the other types of hosting. There's cloud-based and some others that are out there, but the main two primarily that people tend to create websites are shared and managed. And so WPX really specializes in managed web hosting. And what that is, in short, is the ability to be able to create a website utilizing a server with less people that are actually occupying it. So when you create a website online, basically what you're doing is outsourcing or purchasing a specific amount of space on a web server that the web hosting provider has. And with managed hosting itself, less people are occupying it. The major benefit to it is that one, you have faster page loads, faster performance with your websites, and it's just all better, across the board. When you think about shared web hosting itself, which WPX is not, shared web hosting tends to stack, thousands upon thousands of people on one single server, and the bad, consequences that come with that is one, slower page loads itself. Often servers may even crash, and you may even be a victim of like spam, with IP addresses. If somebody is doing something that's not right, with their web hosting itself, if you're sharing the same server itself with shared web hosting, that's one of the issues that you'll, run into. Being spammed, slower performance, with servers, amongst other issues itself. So one of the great things that you should know about WPX hosting is that one, you don't have to worry about slow speeds because it's not shared web hosting. But on the opposite side of that is that one, is not cheap. Typically across the board, guys, when it comes to like managed WordPress hosting, you're not going to find quality, top-notch managed WordPress hosting for $3 or $4 or $5, under 10. You don't really find that, when you're hosting with, companies like iPage, HostGator, SiteGround, HostMonster, amongst other, web hosting companies that specialize primarily in shared web hosting. They're cheap, they're inexpensive, but they don't deliver that top-notch, fast performance that you'll get with managed WordPress hosting. So that's something that I wanted to mention to you guys off back, with WPX hosting itself. I mean, what you'll find online is that across the board, when you look at, web hosting itself, particularly with WPX hosting, you'll find out that one, they're not only affordable, but two, they have amazing customer service, guys. And that's one of the next areas that I wanted to touch on with you guys first. What I'm going to go over is the pricing itself. What does it cost to get started, with them? And then I'm going to talk more about the customer service, because I feel that that's extremely important to know before getting started with WPX hosting today. Now, with WPX hosting, they allow you to purchase your web hosting in either two increments. You can either do it by month or by year. Obviously, if you purchase about a year, you'll save more money on both the front and the back end. But if you do it monthly, you can see for the three packages that they have, the business, professional, elite is slightly above, what you're paying. It's not too bad, but $24, $24.99 for the business is what you'll be paying monthly. If you wanted to do it on a yearly basis, you're going to save a few bucks by doing that, and you'll get it at $20.83 per month. So it's like $5 that you're saving with that, which is great. A great deal in comparison with some of their other competitors online. What is it that you guys get with WPX's hosting packages itself? Well, as I mentioned before, there are three plans that you can select from. There's the business, professional, and elite plan. The business is really for beginners, people that don't want to create particularly like multiple websites, but it will allow you to create up to 5 websites. You get 10 gigabytes of storage with that, with 100 gigabytes of bandwidth. The cool thing about WPX hosting that you don't get with a lot of its competitors is a free CDN. And CDNs, in short, guys, just help to promote fast speeds, faster performance, and they also help to deliver your website's files across the web, no matter where your customers or visitors are trying to access your website. So what that means, in short, is that you may create your website here and use their like a data center here in the U.S., but if somebody is trying to access your website, perhaps in Europe, Africa, Asia, wherever, CDNs help to better distribute your files across the web so people can access it super fast. And so WPX hosting understands that, the importance of speed and performance, and they're giving you your very own CDN with each of the packages here. Now, the professional plan, which is the most popular plan that most people tend to go with, if you're purchasing it on a yearly basis, it would be $41.58 per month. But if you're doing it month to month, it's $49.99. So, of course, as I mentioned before, guys, you do save a lot of money on the front and back end by purchasing it for the entire year. But it's up to you. You can decide what's most comfortable for your personal situation. The professional plan versus the business allows you to host up to 15 websites. With you get 20 gigabytes of storage along with 200 gigabytes of bandwidth, along with the CDN, as I mentioned before. The Elite is a step up, and it's really designed for people, again, that want to create even more websites. So typically, I would say if you're a person that's an affiliate marketer, you're into like network marketing, you need to create multiple websites for a particular niche that you're in, I would say to go primarily for either the professional or the elite plan, as these will allow you to create multiple websites. They do give you more web space. As you can see, the elite gives you 40 gigabytes of storage, but the bandwidth is unlimited. So again, you're getting more wiggle room, with the elite plan itself versus, the business and the professional. I have an account with them. I have the business plan itself. That's exactly what I need, for the websites that I have up online. You may decide to go with perhaps the professional, the elite, but it's really up to you. Just think about what you personally need, your personal goals for web hosting itself. And I recommend just going with one of the plans that fits your needs. Some other features that come with it, if you want to migrate your website over to WPX hosting today, it's 100% free to do it. You can do it in less than 24 hours. They probably have one of the fastest site migration services that I've seen yet online. You get SSL certificates with your website. We all know that in 2018, guys, that Google made a very important announcement that the websites that don't have SSL certificates on them, they're going to mark them unsecure. And so obviously you don't want that. They're particularly important too if you are selling items online, perhaps on an online store, e-commerce store or thing or something of that nature. SSL certificates just make sense to have and to reassure your customers that your website is 100% secure and that their credit and debit card information that they're going to be using or adding on your website if you're selling stuff online will be 100% encrypted. The cool thing about WPX hosting that I really like about them is that not only when you create your website, using WordPress, but they're going to do what's called a hardening, which adds an additional layer of a protection to your website. It's really, really cool. I like that. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that, websites today that go up, people are starting hundreds of thousands of people create businesses each and every year, right? And obviously, if you want to position yourself online, you need a reliable web hosting service. Something that I wanted to mention, guys, about WPX hosting and their web hosting in general is that they provide a service where in the event your website itself is hacked or is injected with malware and it's interrupted, they're going to fix that problem and get your website back up online as it was before. And so I don't know of any other web hosting companies out there that do that or offer that specific service, but I think it's a plus in the way of security over WPX's competitors. And so that's one thing that I wanted to mention with you guys today about, security. Obviously, you want a platform that is secure and a company that really, takes it to the next level, the next mile, if you will, when it comes to security. Security is extremely important when creating websites, and you don't want your website to be hacked. If your website is prone to that, or you have some, issues with it, what better thing to know that you count with a web hosting company that will fix the problems for you and get your website back online as it should. Uptime, I wanted to talk about that. WPX hosting has 99.95% uptime guaranteed, which is amazing. I wanted to mention that because all web hosting companies, including WPX hosting, experience downtime. All web hosting companies typically towards the end of the month or different times of the month we program, times where they service, their service itself. That occurs with any web hosting company out there, and WPX is not the exception. So it's very minimal with the downtime itself. You may experience maybe 30 minutes, few minutes, downtime, but it's not a huge deal. I think that for the most part, you can always count on your website being online when people are searching for you online. And so I think they're a very, very reliable web hosting company. And more importantly, ideal if you're looking for managed WordPress hosting services. Let's talk about customer service itself. I talked in part about it that, of course, WPX hosting specializes in managed WordPress hosting services itself, which is great. They have really nice pricing, in comparison to their competitors online when you look at WordPress hosting itself. But when you think about it, what I think really, really matters at the end of the day is that if you have a question or you have any issues about your web hosting or just something that's not right, who can you call in the event you have a problem? And I wanted to mention about a source online, trustpilot.com, where you can see like what people think about it. Of course, I'm giving you guys a WPX hosting review. This is my personal review of their website, the services that they offer, just giving you guys a brief overview of what they expect, with WPX hosting before you get started with them today. But also to see what other people online that have their managed, hosting service, what is it that other people think about them? Because, my review that I'm giving you guys today is just my personal take and overview about their services itself, but what is it that other people think about their web hosting services? Well, if you look at Trustpilot, as I mentioned before, you can see that they have 5 stars across the board. That's amazing. They have excellent customer service feedback. from people that absolutely love their web hosting services. If you type in just about any web hosting service, in here in the search bar, you can see ratings. WPX is like number one, I would say. You can see 99% of people say the service is excellent, but only 1% rather say that it's bad, which is amazing. You may see variations with that with other web hosting companies like Bluehost or iPage or HostMonster, like EIG owned companies that have very, very terrible ratings, like maybe 1 star or 2 stars, if that, but when you think about non-EIG owned companies like WPX Hosting, for example, has data centers both here in the US and in the UK, they have an amazing reputation online, guys. That's something that I just wanted to mention to you guys, in part is, what is it that other people think about their web hosting itself? This is a comment online about the migration service. I mentioned to you guys earlier about, they do it within 24 hours, which is amazingly fast. Most people may take a couple of days, but with WPX hosting, it's extremely fast. This person says awesome support with the site migration. It was really quick. People rave about, their support team, how great it is. And you can go on and on and on, and you'll just see nothing but amazing customer feedback, from them. So again, 99% say that they have excellent service. Only 1% of those that were surveyed here said it was bad, which is nothing. 5 stars across the board, amazing customer service. That's something that you definitely want to think about when considering a web hosting company. So I think about when you think about the really big picture with web hosting itself, again, you want to consider cost, something that's affordable, which WPX hosting is. It's not shared web hosting itself, so you're gonna be working with a web hosting company that is really fast, with their customer service, very fast response rates, even with their chat service itself. When it comes to performance, super fast, page loads, great performance, and great uptime itself around the clock. And so when you think about that, what you're paying for is well worth it. As you guys saw today, I mean, you can see that with the 3 packages that they have, the layout is extremely simple. It's not hard to understand. I think if you're a beginner with web hosting, but you want to migrate your website over to WPX hosting, and you've been using shared web hosting for some time, and you just want to step it up a notch and go for managed web hosting, I recommend going with the business plan itself. If you've never used managed hosting before, go with the business plan itself. But if you're somebody who wants to create more websites, more than 5, you can select between either the professional or the elite plans today, guys. So what I'm going to do for you is leave some links below. That way you can get started today. WPX has a 30-day money-back guarantee. So in the event that you feel that something is not right or you want your money back, you can just call them up, their customer service, and you get a 100% money-back guarantee of your services. And so I wanted to thank you guys so much for watching this WPX review. As you can see, I kind of perused through the specs, the features of what is it that WPX offers. Something that you'll notice too is that, of course, we highlighted what Trustpilot says. Hundreds of positive reviews that are up there. 99% people say that it's excellent. They have 5 stars up there. You can see other authoritative blogs online, such as Matthew Woodard. He has a lot of content online as well. Tons of positive reviews that you'll see online, guys. And the one that I gave you guys is just another. So anyway, I want you guys to get started today using the links below. Also, tell me what did you think about this video review that I did for you guys today, all right? I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys much success in your endeavors online with your new business, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you, and have a great day.